Hello, welcome to my community assessment of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Information for this community assessment was gathered by conducting a windshield survey and using various websites as cited on the references slide. Here's a little core information about Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Ponchatoula got its name from the Choctaw term for hanging hair due to the Spanish moss hanging from the trees. The history of Ponchatoula began when James Clark came to survey land for the construction of the New Orleans, Jackson, and Great Northern Railroad in 1852 and 1853. He saw the potential for community development after the land had been passed over by previous settlers who wanted to be closer to water. He purchased a section of land from the government and began selling town lots in 1854. People became attracted to the idea of shipping their products via the railroad line, and slowly the town of Ponchatoula started to grow. Ponchatoula became incorporated in February of 1861. The economy was based on farming and lumber. Strawberry production and other produce had Ponchatoula booming economically, which led to the development of brick buildings from 1902 to 1912, now known as downtown Ponchatoula. The strawberry industry declined after World War II as men took higher paying jobs in nearby plants. Ponchatoula is also known as America's Antique City, with its historic buildings adding to its charm. According to the Census Bureau, the population estimated in 2024 of Ponchatoula was 7,735 persons. Residents over the age of 65 made about 19% of the population. 17 and under made about 26.4% of the population, which would mean over 50% of the population of Ponchatoula is between the ages of 18 and 64 years old. Females make about 54% of the population. White ethnicity makes about 66.9% of the population, and black ethnicity makes about 27.3% of the population. Those that are foreign born make up about 2.7% of the population. There are various historical landmarks and events that are held in Ponchatoula annually. They have the Twin Steeples Creative Arts Center, which was reformatted from an old Lutheran and Presbyterian churches. They have the Collinswood School, which was a one-room school that was built in 1883 and operated for 30 years. Until recently, downtown Ponchatoula was home to the town's unofficial mascot, Old Hardhide, a female alligator that was housed in an artificial enclosure since 1972, until the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries started receiving complaints about concerns about the gator's well-being. The gator is now housed in a private setting. While downtown, you may also see engine number 3, a decommissioned train that was once a staple for the lumber industry. The subsystems that I will discuss during this assessment are physical environment, economy, transportation and safety, and lastly, education. Physical environment. Ponchatoula is very spread out. The location where my subdivision is happens to be on the outskirts of Ponchatoula. So it is between Beatico and Robert. It's very green. It's very woodsy. There are a lot of trees out this way. Lived out here for 2 years. Any given day, you can smell rain or fresh cut grass, never on the same day. And during this time of year, you can hear the frogs at night. Once you leave this subdivision, it is like another world. The area is surrounded by trees and woodsy areas, and the roads that are leading to the subdivision have a mix of trailers, old homes, and new homes on large areas of land. Unlike this subdivision, where they're tract homes, there's a nice amount of land still, but not nearly as much as you can see like in this picture right here up top, the top right. This is actually a corner lot that has usually have a bunch of cows outside. If you look really closely, you can still see one. Most of them were up in the barn. And then at the bottom here, we have a woodsy area that is for sale. I'm not sure if they're going to tear those down and make new homes. I kind of imagine that is where a lot of, or that's what it looked like before some of these homes went up that are in the area. If you drive towards the downtown area, that's where you'll start to see a lot of businesses. Various churches were observed, mostly of the Baptist denomination. Economy. The economy of Ponchatoula is made up of different types of businesses. You do have some corporations like Walmart, you see pictured here. You've got the Dollar General, of course. There's Rouse's, but there's also a variety of local and small businesses. Nearby, we have a small snowball stand called Sweet Peas. You've got Berryland, where you can get fresh produce, multiple nail salons, cleaners. There is also the Niagara Manufacturing Facility is located in Ponchatoula. You have the Strawberry Fest annually in April, which attracts about 300,000 people a year. You have the Ponchatoula Antique Trade Days, which is an arts and craft fair that lasts a few days. You got the Tandy Times, which is a local newspaper that does digital and print media. And according to the Census Bureau, persons in poverty in Ponchatoula is 18.6% of the population. Let's talk transportation and safety. So within Ponchatoula, we do have the Ponchatoula Police Department. We do have multiple fire departments, fire stations. In my immediate community, there is a fire department or fire station. But let's talk transportation. The mean drive time to work, according to the census, is 32 minutes. And why that's concerning is the longer the distance that you have to drive every day to and from work, that is more fatigue behind the wheel, which is dangerous, a risk for car accidents. Also considering fog when you're commuting during the cooler times of the year. If you have to go over, let's say, the Causeway Bridge or I-55, there was an accident within the last few years where they closed the causeway due to fog and they rerouted everybody to I-55 and there was a mass casualty pileup on the interstate. So that can be very concerning. I have attached the Tangi Transit City Bus route here. I put a star over by the most outward bus route. That is 17 minutes away from my subdivision. So if you live out this way, you definitely need to have reliable transportation or a dependable person that's going to take you to run your errands or take you to your doctor's appointments, go grocery shopping, things that you need. Right here, I have attached a picture of the I-12 entrance. That is also the exit number 47, the Robert exit into Ponchatoula. They put a stoplight there recently in December of 2024 due to the increased accidents that were happening because people were not able to get off of the interstate onto Highway 445. So they had to put a stoplight there to help to control traffic. Also, I have attached a picture, the top left. That is the road leading to the subdivision that I live in. It is very narrow. You can see there are no lights there. And at the very bottom, I happened to just catch a guy there was no bike lane, but he was riding his bike down Highway 22. Education. All of these schools that are listed are not only in Ponchatoula, they are also all within the Tangipahoa Parish School District. There are multiple elementary schools. There is one junior high school, Ponchatoula Junior High School, which has grades 7 through 8. And although Champ Cooper Elementary School has grades 7 and 8, it is still considered an elementary school. And then you've got Ponchatoula High School. It's the only high school within Ponchatoula. And it has the highest graduating class throughout the Tangipahoa Parish School District. Pictured here up top, we've got Champ Cooper, which is in my immediate community. It's always nice that school's out when a night shift nurse is getting off of work and that drop off line is not interfering with the ride home. We've got Ponchatoula Junior High School here in the middle, and then Ponchatoula High School here at the bottom. Perceptions. Recently, I spoke to a pastor who wants to move out of the town of Ponchatoula due to politics. He was telling me a story about when he went to go pick up his child from school and they were directing the traffic, and that involved the principal of the school and a sheriff, and the sheriff was not even aware that he was not within city limits, so the principal was going to get him in trouble. The parent felt like the direction of the traffic off of Highway 22, which is a very busy highway, was not safe, and he felt like the leadership in the town is just not what it used to be. He says he's born and raised here. He's looking to relocate his family. I spoke to a neighbor who was an electrician. He loves the area. Him and his wife have two young children. They enjoy being away from the noise of the city, they said. The price is really right. You can get your more bang for your buck out this way. His only concern is that with Ponchatoula growing so much, that eventually some of that violence may make its way out here. But for now, he says that he's okay. I perceive Ponchatoula to be up and coming. They are, as you can see here in these pictures, this is my subdivision. They are expanding. The cost of living, as the cost of living goes up in bigger cities like New Orleans and Covington, this is really going to attract more people out here. This is very much so a family community. That's how I perceive it. There's a lot of children out here, a lot of families. I have become familiar with some of the local employees at my gas station that's nearby. We have a Facebook group for the neighborhood. People are always, very community based. They're always asking questions if they need help with anything. People are always answering. Somebody's lawnmower got stuck the other day and they were messaging about it in the Facebook group, and he was able to get his help. We have food trucks that come to the neighborhood or nearby. This is just really family oriented and community based, and it's very. I don't want to jinx myself by saying the Q word, but it is very quiet out here, really away from the noise. Even though there's a bit of traffic sometimes, it's not as bad as if you were in a bigger city. Nursing diagnosis in healthy people 2030. My nursing diagnosis is related to safety, as I showed you in a previous slide of the narrow roads that are down here. Also, they're not well lit. Just a cause for concern for safety and accidents. Also, my healthy people objective also related to motor vehicle accidents, reducing motor vehicle crash related deaths. Just want people in the community to be safe. Here are a list of my references, and thank you so much for listening.